Hello students, welcome back to our channel in By Curious. So today we are going to discuss about the rest of the parts of the alimentary canal. So in the last class we have already started about a few portion of the alimentary canal. There we have learned about the function of the mouth and esophagus. So before going to the next topic, there will be a quick recap, that is the function of the mouth, right? So we have already learned that the digestion has been started from our mouth with the help of whom? With the help of our teeth, and our saliva is performing digestion. After that there is the esophagus. Esophagus helps in the movement of the bolus, and then the food particles is going to the stomach. So now today we will start from the stomach. So first thing is, stomach has a huge contribution in the digestion. How? Because the 70% of the digestion has been completed in the stomach. Not the 100%, but majority portion of the digestion has been completed in our stomach. How the stomach is performing in the digestion process? So in the stomach there is some special kind of things. So first thing is, there is the gastric juice, and gastric juice is nothing but the acid, that is HCl, means hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid is also known as gastric juice and is also called as the fasting juice. When there is no food in our stomach, then also a little bit of HCl is present in our stomach. That is why it is called as the fasting juice as well. But when it is getting the food, at that time it becomes activated. It helps in the activation of the pepsinogen enzyme, and this pepsinogen enzyme, after activation, it is converted into pepsin, and with the help of the pepsin it helps in the breaking down of the protein. Okay, but in the infant this pepsin is absent because the infants are only eat the milk, right? Only drinks milk. At that time they don't have the pepsin. So instead of pepsin they are having the renin, because this renin helps in the digestion of the casein, and this casein is present in the milk. Clear? So this is how the digestion takes place in the stomach. And in the stomach there is also certain kind of functions, like the stomach is also help in the partial storage, or it also helps in the mechanical churning. Mechanical churning means what? There is no teeth. So how does the churning takes place in the stomach? So with the help of the enzyme, the stomach helps in the churning. That is why this is called the mechanical churning, and the mechanical churning takes place in the stomach. Clear? And also it helps in the partial storage of the food. So until or unless the digestive system is getting the signal, for some time our stomach is basically stored the food. That is why we can say the stomach is also work as the partial storage. After the 70% of digestion of the food becomes semi-solid, and that semi-solid thing is called chyme. And this chyme then going to the next part, that is the small intestine. And in the small intestine there is three parts. One is duodenum, then jejunum and ileum. So in the intestine, the first part is the duodenum. So what is the function of the duodenum? Duodenum basically uptakes the chyme from the stomach. The stomach is connected, or we can say the stomach is opened at the duodenum. Duodenum is the opening of the small intestine. So from there they are taking the chyme, and then they pass it to the next portion of the small intestine, that is jejunum. And in the jejunum the final digestion takes place, because whatever the enzymes are required to breaking down of protein, carbohydrate, fats, minerals, everything is present in the jejunum. That is called the intestinal juice, and with the help of that the jejunum just completes the digestion. So if I ask you in what portion of the alimentary canal the final digestion takes place, it should be small intestine, or more precisely we can say it occurs in the jejunum of the small intestine. Clear? Okay. So after that the absorption takes place, because whatever the food has been digested, that should be absorbed. Otherwise no use of the digestion process, right? If the digested food will not absorb in our body, then there will be no proper growth and development and repairing of the cells will take place in our body, and our body will be deteriorating day by day. Okay, clear? So that is why after digestion, the absorption should perform by our digestive system, and the absorption has been performed from the jejunum with the help of villi. Villi is nothing but a finger-like projection. Villi is like this. If this is the wall of the intestine, from the wall of the intestine there is the presence of the finger-like projection, and this finger-like projection is called villi. And this villi basically helps in absorption. Villi is like us. When we are eating any mocktails or any juice, at that time we are drinking that juice or sucking that juice with the help of the straw. So villi is basically taking the nutrition or absorbing the nutrition from the digested food with the help of a certain kind of straw, and for that reason they are having the finger-like projection. And after that there is ileum, and in the ileum also the absorption takes place, but the villi are slightly different from the jejunum. The villi is club shaped. The villi which is present in the ileum, that villi is looking like that. Okay. So in this villi, it basically increases the surface area for the absorption of the food. So after completion of the digestion or after completion of the absorption, the rest of the material is present in our digestive system, that is nothing but the waste product. So in our home also, whatever the waste product has been generated or whatever the waste product has been produced, that we will discard from our house, right? So just like that, whatever the waste product or undigested food is present in our alimentary canal, our alimentary canal is also try to get rid of that. Okay. So then next the undigested food will be transferred to the next part of our alimentary canal, that is the large intestine. In the large intestine also three parts are there. So first one is cecum, then colon, and last one is rectum. Okay. So the first part, this one is the cecum portion, and this is the appendix. In the cecum, first we will transfer the undigested food. And in the cecum, there is a special kind of bacteria. That bacteria is called as E. coli. Okay. And the E. coli is taking the nutrients from our undigested food. So basically this E. coli is maintaining the symbiotic relationship with us. What do you mean by symbiotic relationship? Symbiotic relationship means what? When two organisms are staying together and both are benefited by each other, that relationship is called the symbiotic relationship. And the E. coli is also maintaining that kind of relationship. How they are maintaining? The E. coli basically taking the nutrition from the undigested food of us, right? And this is how E. coli has been benefited from us. But when the E. coli is taking the nutrients from the undigested food, at that time the load of the undigested food also became lower. That is helpful for us. So this is how both of us has been benefited. Clear? After the taking the nutrition by the E. coli, then the next the undigested food has been transferred to the next part of the large intestine, that is the colon. And this big portion of the large intestine is called colon. So on the basis of their structure, the colons are three types. This first one is the ascending colon because it is going to the upward. Next is transverse colon, and the last portion is the descending colon because in this case we are seeing that the colon is coming from up to downward direction. Clear? So we can see first the waste product will be going upward. So if at that time the waste load of the waste product is so heavy, then it will be very irritated, or we can say it is not good enough for us to carry the load of the waste product to the upward direction. So that is the main reason why the E. coli is present in our intestine. Clear? Next thing, after the ascending colon, it will be going to the transverse portion, and in this transverse portion that our body is coming for the inspection for the last time. No body is just make sure that no required nutrients should be going outside of our body. So for the last time our body is come for the inspection and they are taking the nutrients and the water molecules from our undigested food. If any of the required mineral is going out from our body after few years, it can cause a huge deficiency in our body. So that is why our body just makes sure that no required nutrients should be going out of our digestive system. Clear? After the final absorption, there is nothing to absorb. Now there is the need undigested food. And that undigested food is passing towards the descending colon and then descending colon to the last part of the large intestine, that is rectum. And in the rectum, this undigested food will store until and unless our anus sphincter will open. So it is basically storing the undigested food. Clear? So this is how our body performs in the digestion process. So now if you are having any doubt, you can comment it down below and do not forget to like, share and subscribe my channel. Bye bye.